Thank you to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring this video. Right now they're offering their Shit Shower and Shave trial kit for only $5, which will give you a chance to try out their Executive Razor complete with 4 cartridges, 1 Wipe Charlie's infused with aloe vera and chamomile, as well as their amber and lavender body cleanser. I personally hate shopping for any hygienic products. I prefer to find what I like and stick with it. Dollar Shave Club takes the hassle out of replenishing necessary bathroom products by sending them right to your door every month at an affordable price. Shaving, shower, skincare, hair gel, they've got you covered cheek to cheek with everything you could possibly need to start your day out looking good and feeling good. So if you'd like to give it a try, head over to www.dollarshaveclub.com/filmradar and get your Shit Shower and Shave trial kit for just $5. It's a great way of supporting my channel and what I'm trying to do here, and it's a great way for you to step up your grooming game, hassle-free. So again, that's dollarshaveclub.com/filmradar, or you can click the link in the description to start your trial today.
The first gay supervisor elected in San Francisco, his name is Harvey Milk. First of all, congratulations, and I've never seen anything like this, Harvey.
Oh, it's all over the city tonight.
What does this mean, your election, your activity now on the Board of Supervisors of San Francisco? Does that mean, as many straights are concerned, maybe the gays are taking over San Francisco? Are you going to be a supervisor for all the people?
I have to be. That's what I was elected for. I have to be there to open up for the dialogue for the sensitivities of all people, for all the problems. The problems that affect this city affect all of us.
Harvey Milk moved to San Francisco in 1972. Born in Woodmere, New York on May 22, 1930, he spent most of his life in the closet until deciding to start a new life with longtime partner Scott Smith, eventually becoming the first non-incumbent openly gay man to be elected to office in United States history. And while he only served in office for less than 1 year before his assassination, he forever altered the trajectory of the gay rights movement. But to understand the significance of what Harvey Milk accomplished, we first need a better understanding of the historical context that preceded him.
I left my heart.
San Francisco had long been a haven for the LGBT community due to many war veterans being given a blue discharge. Neither honorable nor dishonorable, it was disproportionately used to discharge homosexuals from service until 1947, when it was discontinued. Upon receiving this blue ticket, many decided to stay in these port cities like San Francisco rather than return home where they'd likely face shame or persecution. Fast forward a decade and you've got the beat poets challenging the social norms of middle-class conservative values. A cultural shift was happening in urban areas all over the country as the youth flocked to these places where a different sort of lifestyle would be permissible. But while many found sanctuary in places like San Francisco, it wasn't exactly paradise.
If you open those doors, the Merchants Association will have the police pull your license.
Under what law?
Excuse me?
There's man's law and there's God's law in this neighborhood. And in this city.
You know, we pay taxes.
The San Francisco police force is happy to enforce either. Have a good day.
From 1952 until 1973, homosexuality was listed as a mental disorder by the American Psychiatric Association, citing a pathological hidden fear of the opposite sex caused by traumatic parent-child relationships. Worse than that, homosexual acts themselves were illegal in every state until 1962, when Illinois became the first state to change that, nearly a decade before any other state. It wasn't until 2003, with the Supreme Court case Lawrence versus Texas, that sodomy laws were finally repealed on a federal level. For decades, the narrative was that homosexuality was a form of sexual perversion, comparable to pedophilia or bestiality, and anyone caught engaging in homosexual activity was treated as subhuman by nearly every aspect of society.
What Jimmy didn't know was that Ralph was sick, a sickness that was not visible like smallpox, but no less dangerous and contagious, a sickness of the mind. You see, Ralph was a homosexual.
Many were denied housing, employment. They were often threatened or arrested or beaten, and oftentimes even murdered simply for being gay. Not to mention the horrific medical procedures that claimed to cure homosexuality.
This involved showing the gay man pictures of nude males and shocking him with a strong electric current. Over a short period of time, he will be unable to get sexually aroused to the pictures.
Gay people who were sentenced to medical institutions because they were found to be sexual psychopaths were subjected sometimes to sterilization, occasionally to castration, sometimes to medical procedures such as lobotomies, which were felt by some doctors to cure homosexuality and other sexual diseases.
It seemed that no matter where they went, they were faced with hateful rhetoric from conservative or religious organizations that denied their very humanity. But San Francisco was different. The Kinsey Institute believed there to be more gay people per capita than in any other American city, and with so many openly gay men and women living in the area, many continued to flock to the city to find solace within a growing sense of community for the first time in their lives. Then, in 1969, there was the Stonewall Uprising in New York City. Tired of being persecuted in the one place they felt safe, the many gay men and women who frequented the Stonewall Inn of Greenwich Village fought back for the first time. 1 year later, to commemorate the anniversary of the event, the country's first gay pride parades took place simultaneously in New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago. By 1972, the annual march had seen cities like Washington, D.C., Detroit, and San Francisco join the movement. But even then, their safe spaces were anything but safe.
Fruit was walking home with his trick when he got jumped. Name's Robert Hillsborough. Did you know him?
Thinking that the gay community should be represented in public office, in 1973, Harvey Milk announced his run for city supervisor.
My fellow degenerates, I would like to announce my candidacy for San Francisco City Supervisor.
And he lost, but tried again 2 years later, coming closer than ever. In 1976, he ran for state assembly, losing again, but...
more votes than ever! That used to make you laugh.
Despite losing, he had become a pillar of the community, a voice for the voiceless during an incredibly challenging time. Even though more gay men and women were living out in the open than ever before in American history, people like John Briggs and Anita Bryant were spearheading a fervor of their own.
I believe that more than ever before that there are evil forces round about us, even perhaps disguised as something good, that would want to tear down the very foundation, the family unit, that holds America together.
But that never deterred the gay rights movement. It only emboldened it.
Anita Bryant did not win tonight. Anita Bryant brought us together. She is going to create a national gay force!
And finally, in 1977, Harvey Milk was elected as San Francisco City Supervisor, the first non-incumbent openly gay man to win election to public office in the history of the country. Inaugurated on January 9th, 1978, he made it his goal to be the voice for all. Not just for the gay community, but for the Black community, the elderly community, and anyone who felt that their voice wasn't being heard. It didn't take long after his inauguration to confront his first major challenge in the form of the John Briggs Initiative, or Proposition 6, a proposed law that would ban any and all gay or lesbian teachers from working in California schools, as well as anyone who was known to even just support homosexuality. If passed, it would likely set a precedent to allow legislated bigotry across the nation, setting the gay rights movement back by decades. By every indication, the polls showed Prop 6 leading by a wide margin, but Harvey Milk had a plan: exposure.
Sisters, you must come out! Come out to your parents! Come out to your friends, if indeed they are your friends! Come out to your neighbors! Come out to your fellow workers! Once and for all, let's break down the myths and destroy the lies and distortion!
He understood the power inherent in sheer numbers, that if those who supported Prop 6 knew just one gay person, it could change everything. So he set out to challenge those living in the closet to come out once and for all, as well as tackling some of the leading misconceptions about homosexuality in public debate with John Briggs.
I was born of heterosexual parents. I was taught by heterosexual teachers in a fiercely heterosexual society with television ads and newspaper ads, fiercely heterosexual, a society that puts down homosexuality. And why am I homosexual if I'm affected by role models? I should have been a heterosexual. And no offense meant, but if teachers are going to affect you as role models, there'd be a lot of nuns running around the streets today.
While Prop 6 had initially been showing strong signs of support from all over the country, the opposition was growing stronger every day, even winning support from politicians like Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter. And then they got the results. Unfortunately, it wasn't long after this historic win that everything was about to change.
As president of the Board of Supervisors, it's my duty to make this announcement. Both Mayor Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk have been shot and killed.
Thousands of people gathered for a candlelit march to be held in their honor, filling up all of Market Street on the way to City Hall. Even though Harvey Milk only served in public office for 10 months, he helped to propel the gay rights agenda to a national stage, which helped change the conversation in households across the country. Because he understood that the only way to change the misconceptions about homosexuality was to create a dialogue. And for better or worse, that's exactly what he did, in life and in death. And look at how far we've come. On June 26, 2015, the United States Supreme Court ruled in the case of Obergefell versus Hodges that same-sex marriage is protected by the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, a dream I'm sure many thought that they would never be alive to see. But all this reminds us that history is being made every single day, and you can be a part of it. Harvey Milk spent 40 years living a life of secrecy until deciding to do something, and look at how much he accomplished in just a few years. It also reminds us that progress is slow. Breaking down centuries or millennia even of misconceptions and fears isn't going to be done overnight. It takes time, patience, and creating a dialogue. But all it takes is a look at our history to see that the side that fights for love, for peace, and understanding always wins out. Eventually. Thank you for watching. It's a little bit different than the sort of video that I normally make, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nevertheless. I was originally more focused on Gus Van Sant's film, but through the process of writing, I decided to just kind of pursue more of a historical approach than the typical film analysis. So if you'd like to see more stuff like this in the future, let me know, and I'd be happy to make more just historical or biographical videos in the future. I had a lot of fun making this one, and I think it's a story that a lot more people should know. And again, thank you to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring this video. If you guys would like to sign up, I'd really appreciate you checking out that link in the description. It really helps me out. And as always, I have to say a huge thank you to everyone who's supporting me on Patreon. You guys are awesome, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing for me. It's not easy trying to make a living on YouTube, but you guys help me get closer to that goal every day, and I can't thank you enough for helping me to do that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.